Okay, Chris. So let's talk about what I think is the best way to get more leads, the most common way people can get more leads when the account is already in good shape. And that's more keywords. And people may say, well, we have all our keywords. And
Mm,
I would say 9 times out of 10 to 99 times out of 100, you probably don't have all the keywords.
yeah, I'd agree with that.
You just never do. And I mean, I could beat you on a technicality there and say, well, we found one more keyword and it's just one. But
Yeah, but it's more than that.
I think it's a good mindset. Just
Yeah,
as expert managers, as business owners running their own campaigns, whatever it is, always take the mindset that there's more keywords, there's more ways to grow this campaign with different keywords. So why don't we just kind of get into that conversation, Chris, and go through some of the examples of where more of these keywords are found.
yeah. I mean, one thing that we've talked about on the show, and I've demonstrated my success that I've had with doing more keywords is, a tactic where I will actually have what I call a fishing campaign. It's designed to go out there and fish and find new keywords. And I describe this as you take some of your favorite kind of fully contextual keywords, change them to broad match, and dump them into one ad group in one
Wow.
campaign, give it a small budget, and just see what Google does with it. Now, you start with a much lower bid. This is because I completely agree. Jason and I completely agree. There is no, I have all my keywords. There is no such thing as every person in the world or wherever I'm targeting. If they're searching for this, I've got it covered. There's no other way they could search. There's no such thing as that. And broad keywords are a great way to expand,
Yeah.
and using that kind of process with the broad keyword test in a separate campaign is something that I do all the time. I really love to do that because I never think that it's a situation where I've got all my bases covered.
Yeah, and we had this at the end of the section, but I'm glad you went there first, Chris, because it is the simplest and also the strongest and best answer for how to get more keywords, either how to find them or how to target them. If you're not running broad keywords, then you're not getting as many leads as possible.
Yeah.
And people may say, "Well, I've tried broad. The traffic wasn't that good. It didn't really work." Two things to say that. Number one, broad is changing all the time, and again, every campaign is different. Every industry, every account, every website that you take people to, and then Google reads off of that, and then looks at quality score and the kind of keywords searches to target from, and responsive ads and all that. Which we've talked about, the way those maybe can now influence the searches you show up on to some extent. Um, Broad keywords are sometimes performing amazing, like amazing these days, sometimes. And the other thing is, um, if you run on broad keywords that are your product or service, you will probably get conversions. And if you get conversions, then all it is a factor of like, what should I pay for these broad keywords? Because if they're bringing in leads, even if it's at a much lower conversion rate than phrase and exact, they're still bringing them in, and you can just bid accordingly to make those profitable. But Chris, number one way to find more, because you look at the search terms of what those bring in, and they can give you really, really good ideas. And you want to be creative about it. Whether you're looking at, and we'll talk about search terms now, whether you're looking at your search terms from broad match keywords or your search terms from phrase and exact, go down on that list. Look at the stuff that's not even getting clicks. Look at the stuff that's getting like one impression over a
Mm,
30-day period. And don't just look at the whole search term, but look at parts of that search term that
parts.
maybe
Yeah.
give you ideas for the way other things are searched. And then you can go find more keywords. So looking at your search terms is another place to get ideas, partial ideas that can turn into full ideas for more keywords. So that's one way, Chris. And then what about like, are you actually even targeting all your services? I look at clients' websites and I say, hey, you do this thing. We don't talk about it much, but it looks like it's an ancillary. Sorry, ancillary. You
I
say
can't.
it. If you're going to
No.
smile, yeah, I can't say it
No,
either.
I'm
Yeah,
not
and then
laughing.
that's why we're good at what we do, because we don't
Yeah.
stretch our bounds. We don't try too hard. We just stay in our lane. And every now and then you do this nice little professor PhD. We're in the current blah 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 era, and I want
Yeah.
to catch up to you, so I want to say ancillary, and I
I
can't
don't.
say it.
I
Did
can't
that
even.
sound right?
Don't ask me to spell it. You can't say it, and I can't
Ancillary,
spell it.
yeah. But you do all these side services that aren't
There
a
we
part
go.
of your business, and Why don't we target those? Why don't we get more leads? Because sometimes those people need your core service as well. Maybe they'll call you back in 6 months for the core service. So looking through the website. And then, Chris, this is a tough one. I want to get your take on what I'm calling general keywords. And quite frankly, they disgust me from trying to run a perfect Google Ads account with a limited budget.
Yeah.
Because the first example here for moving companies is just the word moving phrase match. Maybe people, I mean, it hurts. It hurts more than broad match keywords. But we'll go through some examples. Pest control, too many ants, phrase match. Plumber, toilet clogged, phrase match. Payroll software, payroll too complicated, or payroll, phrase match. So general, you're opening it up to so much that you could show up on. But come on, man, you're going to get more traffic. You're going to find some gems in those search terms. They're going to convert at some level. You can bid accordingly. What do you feel about these general phrase match and exact match keywords?
Yeah, I agree with you that they are absolutely horrendous to put this right beside a profitable keyword. So I would even say it's too close. You shouldn't even have these guys as neighbors. You should have them in a completely different area code. So you have the broad keywords like this. Jason was going through, and then you have your low funnel, highly qualified traffic. These are the lead generating types of keywords. And what you have is two different campaigns, because these don't belong together, but they still belong in a campaign that's
the universe
testing.
Yeah, your test campaign.
They're testing. You're trying new things. And I'll tell you, Jason, that the quickest way to get fired is to tell the client, yeah, I'm good. Basically, optimization's over, and we're just moving forward with what we have now. I've just concreted this whole thing in, and I'm not really,
and that's not fired. That's not fired by the client. That's fired and physically assaulted by your agency owner for being a horrible agency employee.
Yeah. No, but I mean, that's, you can't, but imagine, you may not be saying that, but if you're not doing testing on other keywords and having a little bit of leniency in what you're doing, that's essentially what you are saying. You're saying, I quit. There's nothing else to find here. I'm never going to search again beyond the confines of this, exact match keyword that I'm targeting.
And more for the business owners out there, if you're acting content and you're not trying out broad keywords, not trying out general keywords, trying to find the right level to bid those at for their conversion rates, or trying to find great search terms, trying to find great search term ideas from their search terms, and you're complacent, your competitors are not. And your competitors are finding the gems there and then figuring out how to get more leads overall, so then they can bid more aggressively on the really strong, straightforward keywords. And then those are the only keywords you're on, and you're getting outbid and you're getting less conversions from Google Ads, and you don't know what to do. So always growing, always expanding is the mindset that's necessary. My answer to broad match keywords, Chris, my answer to general keywords is that performance will guide the price. It'll guide your bids. The conversion rate will guide your bids. The cost per conversion will guide your bids, and the quality of the search terms will guide if you want to keep running on those. This is kind of an interesting topic, Chris. We've never really talked that much about what I'm calling general keywords, like moving, phrase match, which again, or for the first time, I have a real problem with that one. That one's really, really wide, because I've seen a lot of like moving on lyrics, those kind of searches, like when your podcast partner is a little upset with you and you don't know what you did, and you got to move on so you can get through your week, and you look up some lyrics, and then you kind of journal about what you could do better and how you could be a better podcast partner, which is what I do every week. And I know Chris does that too. And that's why we're here 310 episodes in. But I've seen some horrible searches from that word. But something like toilet clogged or clogged toilet, I like that for trying it out as a general keyword for a plumber. Not in the same campaign as the straightforward stuff, but I'm going to, basically the evolution I'm having here live on the show, Chris, I'm now going to treat general keywords like broad match keywords, and I'm going to start using them more, because I'm going to start testing them out in that broad keyword campaign.